my goodness. Well, Victoria is our CBS royal contributor. So she's here to talk all things regal and fabulous, especially the wedding that's coming up. How many days? 97?
Yes, I believe we're 97 days out. So there's a lot of planning going on, a lot of activity in Buckingham Palace right now.
Okay, so what do they still have on the list? What's got to be taken care of for this wedding to happen?
Well, the Lord Chamberlain is the Queen's most senior official, and it's his job to plan this wedding with military precision so that nothing can go wrong. So far we know it's at Westminster Abbey, we know that it's at 11 a.m., that Kate's arriving by car, and we know who's officiating the wedding. There's also 2 receptions.
Who's officiating the wedding?
Well, we have the Dean of Westminster. There's going to be 3 levels of the church hierarchy included. The Dean of Westminster, because it is his church, being Westminster Abbey. The Archbishop of Canterbury is the ecclesiastical head of the Church of England, so he will have the important job of actually marrying William and Kate. And then the Bishop of London, who was a very dear friend of Princess Diana, he is going to give the address, which here would be known as the sermon. So that's sort of those technical points that have been done. We still have guests, rings, cakes, musical entertainment. I mean, there's all sorts of things that have still got to be decided.
Where's the reception going to be?
At Buckingham Palace. The first one, they're going to have 2 receptions.
That's where mine's going to be too.
Be nice, wouldn't it? Would be nice. So the first one will be hosted by the Queen, and it'll be the more formal of the 2 affairs. So some of the guests from the Abbey will come, foreign dignitaries, all the VIPs and hoi polloi. And then in the evening, Prince Charles is going to have a more personal, more private reception. It'll be dinner and dancing, and that'll be for close friends and family.
Both at Buckingham Palace?
Yes, both at Buckingham Palace.
I tell ya, these royals and their palace. So, what are some things that how many people do you think are actually planning this wedding? Because your average couple either plans it on their own or they might hire someone if they're lucky.
There's going to be an entire household, and when I say household, I mean the royal household. So there are a lot of levels all the way down. William and Kate are definitely at the helm of this enormous ship. They are making their own decisions. William is not the direct heir to the throne, which means there's a little more loosey-goosey room for things to not be quite so strict in terms of protocol. As I mentioned before, the Lord Chamberlain, as the Queen's most senior official, it's his job to oversee the entire event. So nothing would be finalised without going through his office.
So do you really think, though, that Kate is really planning this wedding, or do you think it's kind of out of her hands?
No, it's definitely not out of her hands, because at the end of the day, we do have a bride and groom here. Yes, they happen to be a very important bride and groom, but it's a young couple in love wanting to have a special day that it just so happens they have to share with the entire planet. So Kate does have some say, William has some say, and we've already seen indications of that in terms of the fact that they've said they only want 2,000 people at the wedding. I know 2,000 sounds like a lot, but at the Queen's coronation, Westminster Abbey seated 8,000. So it could get so much larger. So they are trying to keep it smaller. They are trying to be cost effective. So yes, they're definitely making the key decisions.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, I guess that does maybe make sense, because I'm assuming they'd have to invite all the heads of state from around the world?
They don't actually have to invite all the heads of state simply because William is not the direct heir to the throne. If he was the next King of England, then yes, they would have to make sure that they didn't offend anybody. But with him being sort of the second in line, things can be a lot more relaxed. So they may have royal family representatives from Spain, Norway, Greece that are friends as well. They may have a few heads of state, but for example, Nancy Reagan went to Diana's wedding because had Ronald Reagan gone, the security implications would have been enormous. Hillary Clinton went to Diana's funeral. Again, had Bill Clinton gone, security would have been too much of a headache considering what the day already had in store. And so for this wedding, it's highly possible that Michelle Obama would go for the same reasons. The First Lady's there to represent the country.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, do you think there are going to be any surprises planned that you've heard of?
Surprises? There can't be any surprises. Everything has to be thought of because this is the global stage. You know, Great Britain is being seen by every country around the world. And I think Charles and Diana's wedding was one of the largest televised events in history at the time. And this is going to be bigger. People will watch online this time, which they were never able to do before. People will DVR it, which they were never able to do before. So there really isn't room for surprises. The only surprise will be for William, and for all of us, I guess, will be Kate's dress in terms of the design.
So do we have any idea of what kind of design it's going to be, who's making it?
Kate intimated this week that she would like to keep both the designer and the design of the dress a secret. If she can keep the designer a secret, that will be an impressive feat. At the moment, Bruce Oldfield is leading the pack in terms of being the bookies' favourite. It will definitely be a British designer. This is an opportunity to showcase all things British, and it would be a real faux pas to go with a foreign designer. But in terms of the style of the dress, we'll have to see on the big day.
We know the color, that's for sure. Now, you just mentioned bookies. What is going on? This is not a horse race, but I'm hearing that people are actually gambling on this wedding and its success.
They are gambling, but all for just having a bit of fun, really. In England, betting is more of a male pastime, so this is a nice way for the ladies to get involved. You know, while they're betting on shoes and dresses, the fellas are betting on who Harry's date's going to be. Some of the other wagers have been on what the first dance song might be. At the moment, they're speculating James Blunt. They're guessing on whether or not Kate will be late to the wedding, and if she is, how late will she be to the wedding? The length of her train. I mean, I think...
What?
Yeah,
Really?
everything. William Hill is one of the leading bookies in London, and they've seen about 1,750 wedding-related wagers placed. But still, this is small change by English standards, because when it was the X Factor finale in England, that saw about $476,000 bet on who would win. And so far, the wedding has seen about $44,000 bet.
Oh my goodness. For those of you who don't know what the X Factor is, it's basically the British American Idol.
And it's coming here. It is coming here, I believe, yeah.
I've gotten really into American Idol.
Wait, did X Factor come first though?
I think X Factor was first.
Yeah.
That's what I was told.
I don't know. That I don't know, but I do know that it is England's favourite pastime is watching X Factor.
What about Top of the Pops? Is that still?
What's that?
No, Top of the Pops isn't around anymore. Top of the Pops was huge, especially when I was growing up. It was a weekly chart show, and the charts in England are a very big deal. Like every Sunday night, they announce who the UK number one is for that week, and it's a big deal. And Top of the Pops used to run through the top 40 countdown. They would have the biggest pop stars on of the time singing their hit single.
Fun.
I love that you know about that. Yeah.
Bryce is very, very worldly, I have to say.
I just like music.
I've been wanting to ask about the proposal. I know that William apparently mentioned to Kate that he had plans to propose to her in Africa somewhere on vacation. Is that true?
He did propose to her in Kenya. She didn't know it was coming. No bride wants to know that their groom's about to propose. It certainly will have been talked about in royal circles because it's not easy to get a date on the royal calendar. And this year, not only do we have this wedding, it is Prince Philip's 90th birthday, so they didn't want to steal his limelight. Zara Phillips, who's Princess Anne's daughter, is getting married. They've not announced the date of that yet. We've got the Queen's 85th birthday. So there's a lot of events that can't be overshadowed. And then this is moving into early next year. We have not only the Olympics, but the Queen's Diamond Jubilee. So England has a lot going on right now.
What's the Diamond Jubilee?
This is the Queen.
It sounds so much better when you say it.
Thank you. Well, the Queen was crowned in 1952, so this will be 60 years on the throne.
Oh, wow.
That's impressive, right?
It is. Kudos to the Queen. Now, I have to ask, because everyone now who's getting married has a website where they have the story of how they met, how you can...
Really?
You're accommodating. Yeah, Bryce. Where have you been?
I haven't been married, so...
Well, I'm telling you, all my friends have websites. I'm assuming that I don't think that Prince William and Kate are going to have a website.
Well, they've probably got the best website really in the world in terms of information because there's the Buckingham Palace website. So that will be keeping everyone up to date. The royal family recently joined Twitter. I'm not sure that the Queen is tweeting herself, but
Told you.
But a lot of the royal announcements that have been made related to the wedding have been announced on Twitter first. So they're slowly but surely joining the rest of the world in terms of technology.
Bryce is cheering because he earlier was telling me that the Queen had a Facebook page. Do you know if that's true?
I think she does. Yeah. I mean, again, she's not sitting there doing her status updates, but she's got the important job
got a
of
BlackBerry.
ruling England. But somebody's doing that, and I think it's this new generation of royals has really opened their eyes to the fact that if they can keep themselves accessible and keep themselves current, it's going to endear them to the British public.
Why do you think the public and the global public is so obsessed with this wedding?
Well, Diana was a huge part of that. Obviously, she's been dead for a long time now. She died in 1997. But she was so popular, and William has grown into an extraordinary young man, and he's her legacy, really. And I think everybody really, really is rooting for this couple. It seems genuine. They've been together a long time. They're beautiful, which of course helps. They're young, and they seem genuinely madly in love. And so what a great reason to root for this couple. And it's something where everyone can get on board and get excited about and be optimistic about.
It is. It's really exciting. I mean, I remember. I feel like it was yesterday that William was 12.
I know, right? I think so too. I remember the day he was born.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a
bet
picture
it's
of
aged myself.
No, you didn't. I had a picture of him up on my wall, I think.
Oh, well, he'd like to know that, I'm sure. I think there were probably, do you know, last year, Prince Harry was over here for Memorial Weekend, and he was playing polo to raise money for his charity Centre Bali over at Governor's Island. And so we thought it was a free day out, and we packed our picnic and went off to watch him play polo. And it was so funny because the boat over there was full of 20-something-year-old girls dressed to the nines, as if Harry was going to spot them and say, come to England and be my princess. So you know what? I think it's kind of fun to have a royal crush. So you're not alone.
Oh, good. Well, now that William's off the bachelor list, maybe I'll move on to Harry.
Well, and you know what? Harry might be more fun because he doesn't have the pressure of being the future king of England. So Harry gets to, chill out a little bit more.
He seems like the more rebellious one of the two.
He's probably the cheekiest of the two. He's
That's a better word.
Yeah,
I like cheeky.
He kind of is. He gets all the good things that come with being a royal, but not with quite the same amount of pressure that William carries.
Absolutely. Now, Bryce, do we have any questions from the chat room for Victoria here?
Not yet, but
Everyone's still asleep. Aren't they?
I'm still asleep.
They all want me to go and be the CBS correspondent to cover the wedding.
I
So,
like that.
I mean, I'll pull for it, but
I like that. You could offer a different view of things.
Exactly. Now, I want to cover the honeymoon, actually. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, well, and we don't know where it's going to be, but actually this is really funny. Talking about all the betting stuff, everyone has been wagering around $5 on the various bets, so not betting to make a lot of money. But on January 10th, someone came in and put down $8,000 on the honeymoon being in Kenya, and that was really fishy. That looked like inside information, because no one's going to bet that amount of money for a laugh.
That's insane. Do you think they would do Kenya because it was where he proposed?
I think, I mean, for that reason it seems unlikely, but at the same time, they have a lot of privacy in Kenya. They've got good friends there. They were able to be there when he proposed with nobody knowing, and they were able to keep that a secret for almost a month when they got back.
Do you know what kind of proposal it was? That's the question I really want to know. There's nothing like a good proposal.
I know, and that's something that we can speculate for the next 100 years, but we'll never really know what happened because it was a private, personal moment between the two of them that it's unlikely they'll talk about.
As it should be.
It was baked in a brownie.
Yes. Well, Victoria, thank you so much for all of the
Thank you.
inside looks at the royal wedding coming up. I'll be watching or DVRing, as you said, or maybe watching online.
Oh, come on, you can be up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Pour yourself a glass of champagne and pop your tiara on and wave.
I actually might.
Maybe you'll still be up from the night before. So
Exactly,
yeah,
with my
maybe.
Red Bull, like Bryce. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Pleasure.